Hello. Yeah, it's just another great time to come your way. This is the Upside Down Show on Channel One TV. I am very excited. Now, if you joined us last week, you heard one or two actually of our very own. Yeah, we are still in the celebration mood, and so we are presenting to you the faces that you see on Channel One TV. Today won't be any different, ladies and gentlemen. We get to know, two of our very own, and it's super exciting that you meet these guys at work. We are always talking about work. We are talking about going on air, how things must be done, and all. But this time we get to sit back and also really ask ourselves, really, beyond knowing them on TV and probably on radio, who are these personalities? And you realize that, yeah, sometimes because we find them in our space, we just see them as, yeah. But hey, they are really bigger than that. But they wear the humility gown. And so you see them not blowing their own horn. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are meeting two personalities of our guys here at Channel One TV. I'm Frema Edunyami. This is the Upside Down Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is the Upside Down Show on Channel One TV, and the show is proudly brought to you by Sky Mineral Water. If it has to be water, you bet it's got to be Sky. Now, we'll be talking to two of our guys. One, you just hear his voice on air. I'm sure you don't even know this is a guy who has been giving us the entertainment news on the Breakfast Daily. Yeah, we'll be talking to that guy.
Greetings and welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. I go by Ni Komete Kome. Nollywood legend Kanayo Kanayo introduces his son Clinton to filmmaking as the assistant production manager.
Beyond, just listening to him, and beyond he doing what he does at Channel One TV, we'll be talking to you about all he does here. He's also doing extremely well in other areas that I bet you don't know that he is a guy behind all that. But before then, there's one gentleman. I mean, he needs no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are very interested in sports, you know who we are talking about.
Welcome to another episode of the Euro Daily Show on Channel One TV. My name is Nathan Quao. Many thanks for joining us. The Euros are happening. They are off the ground. We are already into the second round of group games, and all kinds of interesting stories are beginning to emerge in the competition that's being played in the wonderful country of Germany.
This guy knows everything. I'm therefore not surprised, that he is also the head of research here at Channel One TV and also on City 97.3 FM. He's a man of many parts, when he's not doing sports, when he's not researching, or he's not probably speaking some French or Japanese, he is creating music. Now, what he does with music will blow your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome our guest for the day, Nathan the Obodai Quao.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm good. Great to hear from you.
Thank you.
Super. But how are you?
I'm all right.
How does it feel like, being here? Welcome to Upside Down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been here in a while. I was here a few years ago. Thank you for inviting me.
You're always welcome. That Nathan, so it feels like we are sitting somewhere in the newsroom, having some of our chats, or maybe at the cafeteria, having some of our chats, because you and I talk about a lot of things.
Different things.
Yeah. But you came back from Japan.
Yes.
How is Japan?
Japan is wonderful.
Okay, so if you want to say welcome to the Upside Down Show on Channel One TV.
That one, my Japanese is not advanced.
Don't disappoint me.
I can
Okay, greet us.
Hello. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Yes,
and then
hello.
I also say
konnichiwa.
So konnichiwa is what? Good
Hello.
afternoon. Good. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Okay, so konnichiwa, and it's so long, huh?
Yes.
Hello, and it's konnichiwa.
Yeah.
What is the whole sentence?
Yes, like hello, hi.
Yeah, but if you want to say my name is Nathan.
Onamaiwa Nathan.
Those are they talkatives, the Japanese?
Well,
Because they like long sentences.
I wouldn't know whether they.
But
are
how was it like?
It was
being in
wonderful.
Japan? Yeah.
It was wonderful. I went on assignment. I had to go learn some other things. I'll tell you about that later, away from the cameras. But of course, I mean, when you are sent on assignments to go and learn or to go and pick up some knowledge, you also learn to because all of this is in a context. You are going to a country. You just didn't go there to go and learn.
Yeah.
So you have to observe the people, learn a
Right,
few things,
right.
understand how they function. And so,
How different are they from Ghanaians?
okay, so
I'm choice from here to here.
it depends on what you want. Okay, generally,
Yeah, generally.
generally, Japanese people are very courteous,
Okay.
very well-mannered,
Okay.
very respectful, very friendly, very helpful.
Really, they don't
Yes.
look friendly.
I get it that they don't look friendly. But when you approach them, especially when you enter their space, so you enter a shop,
Yeah.
and as soon as you get in and they say hi, konnichiwa, they bow as they say
Okay.
it, you know, whatever assistance you want. If they can help you, they will help you. And even if they cannot speak English, you can communicate using signs and they can help
No,
you out a lot.
whoever asked you to go there and whatever assignments you were there to cover, I think that, I mean, it was spot on because you like things like that.
I do.
You know, you
Just
enjoy
studying
going
people,
to places, you know, knowing about languages.
learn
and
about
how do
language.
you feel, you know, being able to speak different languages?
It's fun. It's fun. If I were in an environment, for example, if Japan spoke French, I think I'd feel
Exactly,
at home.
yeah.
It didn't matter. You know, I still learned a few words here
Yeah.
and there. I just love learning languages. It's nice to know how to communicate with
But
people.
how does it come so easy, to you?
Okay.
I've been here for God knows how long, but it's got to be English or Chi.
Well, I guess maybe partly genetic. Partly
Okay,
genetic.
right.
Why? Because I do have relatives who have the aptitude of learning other languages. So my aunt speaks French.
Okay.
My late uncle on my dad's side, he was actually a translator.
Wow.
The translator interpreter. So
Okay.
kind of took after him in a sense when I decided to go learn translation or interpretation for my first degree. So you can say that, and then there's also the curiosity I have in just
Right.
learning about people, learning new things. And it's been an interesting journey when you learn to pick up somebody's language. Not perfectly, but once you can understand the basics and communicate
Yeah,
with
I
them,
think
it's
it
nice.
should be fun, right?
It is.
Yeah, people can't bully you.
No, of course. And once they think you don't understand,
You
you,
know that
surprise
vibe,
them and
yeah.
you say, hey, yeah. It's fun when I meet people
So
who can.
you speak French.
I speak
you
French.
speak
I
Spanish.
speak some Spanish.
Uh-huh.
My French is better than my Spanish, but I speak some Spanish,
Yeah.
so that's okay. My Japanese is horrible, even though
But
I
at
was
least
there.
you know
the program.
konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Yeah.
I can say good morning, ohayo gozaimasu.
Ohio gozaimasu,
Yes,
like a
that-
football club. You know.
I'm sure if I lived in Japan for a few more weeks, I'd pick up a few more, and then maybe in a year I'd be okay.
So,
In
so,
2
so,
years, I'll
what
be
really
fine.
excites you? Languages, sports,
Different things.
research.
Different things excite me.
Who are you?
Well, I'm a man of different parts.
Obviously.
It's something. It's something I've grown to embrace.
Right.
Because I think when I was a teenager, I always wondered, what did I want to do? What did I want to do? But I think as I got older, I began to understand that I could do different things. So embrace all of it and just go with it. So yes.
You know, so when you drive on the, forgive me, my location,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
bearings can be very, very terrible. So all I know is between North Kaneshi, when you enter that
Yeah, yes,
space,
you're going
and
down former
Awudome
Big Boss,
area,
close to the St.
there's a
Teresa's
Nathan
Church.
Quao
There's a
Street.
Nathan
Are you
Quao Street.
related to whoever that guy
Yes,
is?
that's my paternal grandfather.
So Nathan, who are you? I mean, your parents growing up. Who are you?
Who am I?
Who are
Okay.
you born to?
Okay, so I was born to two great parents.
Right.
My mom and dad. My dad Emmanuel Quao. My mom Berenice Nati. And I was born in Accra.
Okay, where?
Which hospital? I'm trying to remember. My mom says police hospital. My mom
Oh,
says I
okay.
was born at the police
Alright.
hospital. So yes. Yeah, and I grew up in Accra.
Uh-huh.
You know, went to school here. Went to Datus JSS.
Right.
Primary JSS. Went to Accra Academy, the best boys' school in the world, like I say.
It's all right.
Then I went to
But
the
you know your school motto?
Of course.
What
Ese
is-
kwam wideri.
I thought
To
it was
be
British.
is better than to seem to be.
No, you were there.
Yeah,
You were there.
Yeah. For me, it was a cracker.
So the bleo is what?
Oh, it's just a slogan, like a nickname.
not the
cracker
motto.
bleo. It's not the motto. no.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I mean, thanks for the clarification. I
You know, so yeah.
Yes.
After Accra Academy, went to the School of Translators. Then it was under the University of Ghana. Now they are Unimac.
Okay.
Part of
Okay,
Unimac. For
right.
my first degree.
No, but before
2-3
you
years
get there,
later,
right?
yeah.
Let's spend a bit of time when you were growing up. So I mean, with everything that you just said, that you were a man of many parts, growing up, how was it like for you? Were all these things come into play?
Yes.
You know, who was your mom in terms of her social, you know, makeup,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
father? Would you say that something from them
Yes.
impacted on who you are today?
Yes, I can say the first thing they were and still are two very voracious readers. My parents read a lot.
Right.
And it was one of the first things I picked up, you know, reading. So from a young age, I learned to read and all of those things. And my dad, so the music comes from my dad.
Okay.
The music comes from my dad. My dad played keyboards for the Ramblers in the late 80s for
What was
a
your
brief
father's
period.
name?
He's Emmanuel Quao.
Right, you mentioned, yes.
So he played after he completed KNUST. He
Right.
played for the Ramblers.
So do you remember some of the songs that your dad...
Not necessarily. I was young. I'm sure I wasn't
okay.
even born there. But my mom talks about she going with my dad to their gigs and all
But
of
where
that.
did they meet?
Somewhere. I need to
some dance video or
some jam like that. You know, and all of those
Right.
things. My mom says when she was pregnant with me, she went to one of their jams and they did a rendition of Kool and the Gang's Fresh.
Okay.
And she was
She's
on the
so
dance
fresh.
floor dancing, heavily pregnant with Nathan Quao and everything.
can you imagine?
Who's this lady?
Who's that?
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, so
Okay.
my dad, so the music comes from my dad. My dad played the boards. And he would play a lot of very interesting songs growing up. So I listened to a lot of, I think the kind of music I listened to as a boy, not a lot of boys listen to that kind of music. Was playing Nana Tufo,
I was going to ask
Nana
you that.
Buje, Kojo Entry.
Yeah, so I was just going to ask you that you were born in Accra,
Yes.
raised in Accra.
Yeah.
How come you know the high life songs so
Yes,
well? So this explains it,
so
you know,
it
the Daddy
explains it.
Lumbas
Yes,
and
my
stuff
dad
like
would
that.
play
Yeah.
all of those records at home or on the drive to and from school. And look, once the music was good, it stayed in my head. And he would play it all the time. In
Yeah,
addition to
yeah.
Ghanaian music, he would play some Francophone music, he would play Zouk. So the first time I heard Zouk in my life was in my dad's old car, old ladder. He was
wow.
playing Kassav. He played those kinds of, my dad liked those kind of exotic music. I was like, okay, so anyway, I mean, I didn't know. I asked him, what song? Then he would tell me, oh, this is by Kassav. I said, okay. Then, of course, it stays in my head. And then those seeds were sown. So as I got older, of course, then you get into rap music, which I love a lot. But as I got older, I started to appreciate a lot more of these kinds of songs.
Are you an only child?
No, I have two brothers.
Okay.
One older brother, Nana Kofi Esihine. A lot of people know him.
I saw his, so I know Nana Esihine as
music video maker,
exactly, you know.
creative
And
guy.
so recently, he also went into fashion.
Actually started out, his first love is fashion.
Are you kidding me?
Actually started out with
So
fashion.
what happened?
I guess when you are creative, your creativity expresses itself in different ways. So he started out doing fashion, then the music came, then he started doing music videos. Now he does adverts, and now he's gone back to fashion. He's gone full circle.
Interesting.
And, you see, and the creativity, strange, a lot of people don't know this. Today I'll give you a very interesting secret about my older brother.
Great, okay.
Right? Now my older brother and I, we are half brothers. We share a mother.
Okay.
His dad is from Achimebe, Accra.
Okay.
His grand aunt is Theodosia Okun.
No, you joking.
Yes.
Nane Esihine.
Yes.
Really?
So that's something. So he's related to the designer of the national flag.
No
so you can
wonder.
imagine where some of the
Yes,
genes will
yes,
come from.
yes.
And his granddad used to head the art faculty at KNUST. So you can imagine the interplay of creative
So
genes.
your mother, I wish I could meet your mother to interview her. No, because I really would want to have an appreciation of how growing up, you know, how mothering
Three boys.
three boys,
Yes.
you know, is your younger brother also in the
Yes,
creative arts?
he's a photographer.
So I mean,
He did
I
art
can-
direction at NAFTI. He was top of his class. And he's worked with my brother on a lot of the music videos.
So your mother, I can.
So my mother and I, we are a bit more alike in terms of not being the most creative.
Yeah, I mean,
In terms of like
practice
using your
physical
hands.
things,
And yes,
yeah.
you know, my mom is, like I said, my mom reads a lot. She's got a very interesting imagination.
But if what you mentioned earlier is anything to go by, when she was pregnant and will follow, it looks like your mom is also pretty much drawn to the arts.
Oh, yes,
in a
yes.
certain
My mom
space,
loves
right?
the arts a lot. Like
Wow.
I said, she reads a lot. She watches some drama, that kind of. So she has.
So when you were in school, were you doing any? Like,
I was dancing.
oh, you were a dancer too?
Yeah. I was dancing classics. There was this dance group, and I joined.
What was the name of the?
I can't even remember, but we did a few performances, classics, JSS one, I think. After that, we didn't do some dancing too.
But I'm sure you have a better, recollection of what happened, because at Accra, you were pretty much a big boy, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of that, so now you are taking your entertainment
If you like.
side seriously. Where was the academics? Because
They
you're
were
a
always
very
there.
intelligent
They were
guy
always
too.
there. Again, they were always there. Again, like I told you, it comes from, again, play of genes. My parents read a lot.
Yeah.
So growing up, you read a lot. It's how I picked up a lot of the things I know, or it helped me do the work I do today, sitting
Right.
down, reading, getting information. It's where my curiosity comes from, right? It's where my curiosity comes from. It's where I would sit down, hear one song. Oh, I like the song. Who did it? Oh, this person did it. I'll go and find out what other songs did he do.
Because you and I have sat down to break, to
We've
dissect
dissected
songs,
songs, and
and
we've
some
spoken-
girls are dangerous,
Yeah, no,
and all that.
it's the curiosity.
Yeah.
The curiosity for me, I just want to know. I love acquiring knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's a lifelong thing, something I'd want to do over and over and
so
over again.
when you were at when you were in school, senior high school, moving on to School of
Translators.
Translation
Yeah.
or Translators.
Translators, yeah.
Translators.
Ghana Institute of Languages.
What were you thinking? I mean, what did you want to achieve? What was the plan?
It's a very interesting question. Then I really did not know clearly what I knew. And I always tell people that at age 8 or 9, I knew that I would talk for a living when I grow up. I knew.
How did you know?
Because I was fascinated by watching the reporters on CNN, and I could repeat everything they say to my parents when they come back from work.
Okay.
And I'll tell them, I saw this on the news. And they say, okay, what did they say? They said this, that, and that, and that, and that. And my mom would always say, well, I'm not surprised that one day you'll be a journalist. I said, yeah, whatever. So in secondary school, then I was still thinking, what do I do? What do I do? But I always knew I would talk for a living.
Right.
Maybe be a journalist or teach. And somehow later in life, I got to do that. Great.
We'll get there anyway.
So you finish secondary school, you are wondering what next. What I knew for a fact was that I did not want to go and study French. Just, people go and study French.
Yeah.
It didn't excite me. I wanted to do something a little out of the ordinary. Then my dad said, okay, look, your uncle is a translator. He's late, by the way. Why don't you follow his program? I said, okay, let me just do it. So I got into School of Translators. Initially, it was a struggle because here I was coming from secondary school. I mean, how much French do you know as a 17-year-old, student in Ghana? It was difficult. The first 2-3 years were a struggle.
Yeah.
But I did well in all the other areas except the French part. So I knew that.
So what were you doing?
Oh, we're learning. So we did like basic translation. So we're learning English to French translation, French to English translation, French comprehension, French history. We did Spanish comprehension, Spanish history. Those things just to build.
I have done French from primary school till my days at Lesia. I still don't know any French.
So yeah, and it was tough. The first 2-3 years, I almost gave up at it. But I remember so well. I almost quit. I said, "This is not for me." Yeah. But my friends encouraged me. My parents encouraged me. My mom especially. She would say, "It's okay. Look, you'll be fine." And then year abroad happened. And I always say year abroad changed everything. Going to Benin for one academic year, it changed everything. It made it easier for me to learn the language. I was actually forced to, and I was very determined not to come back and still be a level 1. No. Yeah. So I pushed and pushed. By the time I came back after a year abroad in 2008, thankfully my French speaking level had gone up. Right. My lecturers, there were some lecturers who disliked me because they thought I was lazy and I didn't want to learn the language. They didn't know it was difficult. Now when we came back, first day they came to, there was a particular lecturer. He came to class. Then he greeted me and I responded and we had a chat. Then he smiled and said, aha,
that's exactly.
Like, so this was 2008, finished 2009. Did my national service at the Institute of Languages. Okay. They kept me. I was very grateful, and I am still very grateful. Shout outs to Mrs. Jessie Amable. Auntie Jessie, if you are watching, thank you so much for the opportunity. We still communicate till today. And she supervised my national service. I taught English. And then after national service, I said I wanted to do my master's. Then I went to Legon. Then I went to Lesia.
Lesia.
And then
So it was just right after.
Yeah, so I did my national service, and then I stayed on for a year. So national service, 1 more year of teaching, and then I went to Lesia.
Right, right. But why Lesia though?
Okay, so again, just like the dilemma I faced in secondary school, I looked at all the courses that the University of Ghana had to offer. None excited me. Do I want to do comms? I said no, I didn't want to do communication. Somehow, it just didn't fit. And then I saw international relations. I said, okay, it would be nice to understand how the world works, how countries interact with each other,
Your
and understand
curiosity,
global politics. My curiosity, I said I'll do it.
Yeah.
I remember I applied, then I made the shortlist, went for interview. Let's have interview too.
Tell me about it.
Let's
so who interviewed you, you remember?
Oh, I remember. Dr. Nchidansu was in there, so Professor PJ Tuya was on the panel.
Okay.
Ambassador DK Osei was on the panel.
I mean, he's always been on the panel, you know.
And then there were a few others. I'm struggling to remember them. And I remember
I met Ambassador DK Osei.
Yes.
My time, Dr. Nchidansu
Yeah,
was
Dr.
also
Nchidansu was
there.
not there in my year.
He was there. I don't remember if Dr. Gebe was there, but I remember it was a team, Dr. Hosu and all those.
So I remember going to that interview. And I'll tell you a funny story about that interview. So as we sat in line, before we entered the room, there was a lady sitting by me, Rosalind. She's even late now. May God bless her. So she was in our class. And she was reading this newspaper. So I peeked. Right? I took a peep. The story I saw said, the first sentence, Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. I sat down. I just read that. So as soon as I sat down for the interview, the first question.
What is happening in Russia?
Who's Russia's Prime Minister? I said,
oh
Lord
my
Jesus,
God.
Thank you.
Then you know that this school is for you.
What if I hadn't looked
Can
at
you
this lady?
imagine?
So I answered that question. I answered the second one. There's some of them I didn't know. Then Ambassador said, asked me to do some translation because my
said you could do French.
You know, it was there, my whatever, transcript.
And he speaks French.
He speaks brilliant French.
Yeah.
Then I attempted the translation. Then he said, oh, I'll give you 7/10. You should have said it this way. I said, thank you so much.
That was impressive.
And then Dr. PJ Tia asked me something. So after that, now then somebody took and said, Nathan, are you related to this? I said, yes. Then the interview took a calmer turn.
Conversation.
And I became a bit more relaxed. And when they finished, said, oh, you hear from us? I said, okay. I went home. I was there. Then somebody called me about 4 weeks later. That Nathan, you've made the list. I said, I've made which list? I said, I said, are you sure? I said, yes, are you sure? So that they had an afternoon class at the Institute of Languages. I was so nervous, I just canceled the class. I told the students, you know what, we'll have the class later. Today. Boarded the Trotsky all the way to Legon, went to the Lesiad building, and then went through the shortlist and saw my name. I looked at it, then I'll turn and look at it again.
It's still there.
Then I'll go and come back and look at it.
It's still there.
I remember I called my mother and I told her, Mom, I've made it. I spoke to my dad, my brothers, and I went home. Then I had to prepare for graduate school life.
The conversation is really getting interesting. So now at least we know where your music is coming from and your interest in research. Now, you know, it explains why you are doing what you are doing at ChannelOne and CTFM. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll look at how it all, you know, plays out. I mean, all the
different
pieces
parts
of you come together to form the Nathan Quao. This is the Upside Down Show. Welcome back. This is the Upside Down Show on ChannelOne TV. Our guest now is Nathan the Obodai Quao, you know, a man of many parts. Truly very impactful, and we are having some insightful conversations here, you know, trying to, you know, really get into the makeup of Nathan, and he's telling us. So now we know your languages, we know a bit of your showbiz background. We know you are also very interested to know how the world, you know, operates and international politics and everything that comes with it. I've not heard sports.
I see. You've not heard sports. Well, sports has been with me from as long as I could remember. You're a boy growing up in Ghana. You love football, and I loved football, and I love football till today.
Did you play at any time?
Oh, yeah, of course I played with my
like
friends.
the gota.
Yeah, play with your friends behind the house, play with my brothers, we play in school, and those things excite me. And I'd watch a lot of it too on television, read about it in the newspapers. But as I got older, I began to realize that, no, this interest is deep. is deep. And it was in secondary school that my friends, some of my very good friends in secondary school would say that, look, Nathan, the way you understand the game is, it's your average teenager doesn't understand football like this. So maybe you should think about it. I said, okay, yeah, whatever. But I knew I loved football, and I was always inspired listening to, the BBC has this program called Sports World. It airs every Saturday from 2 o'clock, and I'm tuning every Saturday 2 o'clock, just listening to the people talk on radio, the journalists, the commentators. And I said, wow, I'd love to do this one day. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Okay, so all of that happened. And then, let's say after uni, let's say 2009, I said, okay, I wanted to give this a try. So Christopher Opoku, God bless his soul.
Yes.
He made all of this possible because he opened the door and he put me on radio for the first time.
Which year was
in 2009.
Okay, before you went to Lesiad.
Yes, this was before I went to Lesiad.
Right.
So I'd finished undergrad in August 2009, I remember. Now, I'd met him a few weeks before that episode.
Okay.
You know, he used to be at Metro. Then he went to Asempa and was going back to Metro.
Okay.
So I met him on one of his last days at Asempa, and then we had a chat. Now, coincidentally, he also went to Tech, so he knows my older brother.
Right.
You know, so after a few minutes, he said, Nathan, you sound very intelligent. When I get to Metro, I'll invite you over one day. I said, okay. I didn't think it would happen. And he calls me one afternoon and said, are you home? I said, yes. Then he said, find a shirt and a jacket and come to Metro TV.
Wow.
Hey. I got there and he puts me on TV. Do you know who was my co-panelist?
No.
Godfred Akotobuafo.
Oh, wow.
So I met Godfred in 2009. I think it was 16th August 2009.
You remember?
It was the first time he and I went
Head
on
of
TV.
research, indeed, yeah.
But I'd met Godfred, the day I met Chris at Asempa, I met Godfred there too.
Right.
But I'd seen him on TV a few times, so I could make him out. And I remember the first question I asked him when I met, I said, Godfred, you look bigger in life than on TV. Then he laughed.
Oh, really?
Then he laughed.
Yeah.
You know, so after that, August.
You know, Godfred was also at Lesiad.
Yes, he was. So actually, when I was going for my Lesiad interview, that time he was in China studying.
Yeah.
I texted him
Okay.
on Facebook. I said, Charlie, I'm going to do the interview. Then he took me. He said, relax, it's fine. Don't go and do any strange things. If you don't know the answer,
don't get over-impressed.
don't know the answer.
Yes.
Don't try. I said, okay. So eventually, you know, so was on TV the first time, and I remember that night. After it was a Champions League qualifier, Celtic versus Arsenal. And after that, my phone, calls.
You on
calls,
TV.
calls.
You on TV.
Yeah, I've seen you on TV.
Yeah.
I've seen you on TV. I was doing I was starting my national service. Now you walk around and people were like, oh, I saw you on TV.
Yeah, start already.
It's cool, we take it like that. And then it started from there, went to Metro a few more times. Then other opportunities started coming in, other TV stations here and there. And then in 2012, then Godfred Akotobuafo was working here. Gary Al Smith was also here before he moved on.
City FM.
City FM. This was City FM. Where before ChannelOne, this was only City FM.
Yeah.
So they invited me a few times over to do Premier League, other programs. And then in January 2013, the two of them were going to South Africa to cover the AFCON. So they asked me, Charlie, Nathan, can you just come and sit in for 1 month? Just 1 month. Present sports bulletins for 1 month. Come and do morning and go home.
Yeah.
I said, what's the point? Yeah, I could. It didn't sound like
work or anything, yeah.
So I remember my first kickoff was a Monday morning. Came in, wrote my stories, presented it like a pro.
Yeah.
You know, and it came off easy. I said, I can do this. So after the 1 month.
Did you enjoy it?
It was fun.
Right.
Because then I was actually living a dream. What I'd always wanted to do.
Of course.
Doing it. And then after that 1 month, Bernard Avle calls me into his office and he asked me, Nathan, you've been here for 1 month. Do you like it here? You know, because we think you are doing a good job. I said, okay. I said, all right, I could work on a part-timer's, schedule. Because then I was trying to finish up my master's thesis at Lesiad.
Okay.
You know, so it was 2013.
What was your topic?
Sports and international relations.
No wonder you're doing what you're doing.
You know. So yeah, I stayed on part-time, still writing my thesis, and then I finished everything. Then I stayed on. Then I became a full-timer late 2013. 2014, I was here covering stories, writing stories, going to assignments, just enjoying it, living the dream. Then in 2015, I became editor. Out of nowhere, I was told I was going to be sports editor. Hey, what am I going to do? I remember, I said, no, I can't do this. They
But
said,
you did it.
You do it.
Yes.
I said, okay, started small. So, you know, it comes with extra responsibility.
Of course.
Now you are managing people. You are responsible for them. You are responsible for everything that goes out. Thanks be to God, I did my very best.
Yeah.
And then 5 years on, Samen says, Nathan, I'm taking you from sports. I'm sending you to research. I'm like, hey, what's happening? Why research? Like, am I incompetent? I said, okay. So I took up that role, 2020. We did the elections, you know, we did the elections together.
Yes, yes.
And then it's been like that since.
But you noticed that we needed you at research.
You know, initially, that didn't strike me. But it was after a few years that I began to understand,
Yeah.
you know, why I got the position and what my value was.
Exactly.
It was at that point that I began to feel a bit more at peace with myself.
Because there were times I was worried for you. There were times I was tired for you, you know, because when it comes to like elections and everybody is going to Nathan for,
They
so
need this,
Nathan,
they
so
need this,
what's the history?
But-
Nathan saw that this. I mean, I was like, guy is going to die, man.
But I guess at that point, I
Yeah.
began to feel more comfortable in
Yeah.
the role. I began to see my importance and my
Yes.
value. So then it was really nice doing the kind of work
Yeah.
I did. So, and it's been like that
And every
since
now
then.
and then there are issues.
Yes, and then
Russia,
and then I
Ukraine,
have to
and
talk
you
about
have to
this
go
and
and
then
talk
call
about it.
me.
There's
But,
Israel.
You were asking a question earlier.
Yeah.
I always say that everything I have learned or experienced, everything helps my work. I'll give you an example.
Right.
The language part of me helps me to solve all kinds of problems, right? I've done interviews on radio nobody could do because
Exactly.
the reporter I'm speaking to is Francophone.
Yes.
They don't speak English. I have to speak French. I've done live interviews on radio.
Yeah.
I've done all kinds of online stories because I saw a story written somewhere, written in French, and I could quickly turn it around
Yeah.
and, you know, put it online. So that has helped. So when people ask me, Nathan, why are you not like your conventional translator? I tell them that I don't have to do that. I can
exactly.
employ that skill
And you're doing
in
it
my
so
work.
beautifully, you know.
And then the international relations part helps me to understand some of these news stories
Yes,
better. Every
yes.
now and again, I come on TV to explain those
And the
things.
diplomacy aspect of it and
All of that.
So you do all these things, sports and now research, and like I mentioned, there are certain times that everybody's looking for Nathan because we need the information and
Yes.
it's on hourly basis and you must deliver, you know. But you still find time to rap, you know. We woke up one day and then we hear a certain song on CBS and they finish playing the song and they're like, so Nathan did it. I said, no, hold on. Which Nathan are we talking about? I said, no, so this is Nathan. I said, who is this guy? We need to go and look for Nathan's mom. You know that. So you have worked with King of Accra.
Yes,
you know,
he's
our
my-
very own colleague.
Yes,
Because
he's my
sometimes I look at all
collaborator.
you guys, Nathan is sitting on air talking about sports, King of Accra going around, you know, bringing the sound stuff and all that. And these guys, you know, when we take them out of City FM and ChannelOne TV, they are superstars, you know.
Superstar?
No, because when we put your song out there, look at what your song did. When people heard of your song, when people hear of King of Accra, I mean, he's worked with
King of Accra he's
I
the
mean,
superstar. He's worked with
renowned musicians,
worked with some of the
notable
biggest
personalities,
names, yeah.
you know, and he just walk around here with us and we feel like, yeah, King of Accra, you know what
Okay,
I mean?
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
King of Accra, lots of people don't know.
Hold
King
on.
of Accra and I, we go way back.
I was going to ask that, did you guys just meet at City, ChannelOne?
No.
Where do you know him from?
I know him from secondary school. He's my junior.
King of Accra?
He was behind me.
Oh,
a
he
year.
went to Accra.
He went to Accra Academy.
So were you guys doing stuff
So
together?
I'll tell you a story. I don't know if he remembers.
Okay.
So the first day I met King of Accra.
In school?
It was in school. I remember it was in front of the assembly hall. He was with his friends. And
So King of Accra is a baby, come on. Because if King of Accra is Nathan's junior, it makes you a
he's just
grandmother.
behind me.
Nathan, but you are behind. So
know, I
it makes me feel like, you know, some auntie. King of Accra should be calling me auntie.
And you know, the rumor we heard was that he was rapping, right? So I remember I was with a friend of mine, Nicodemus, and he called King of Accra. He said, King of Accra should rap. King of Accra was and is still quite shy.
Yeah.
And, you know, he rapped a few lines. But I could tell. I
He's
didn't
got it.
really bother him that much.
Yeah.
But I could tell that he had something, you know. So I let him go. A few times we'll meet and we'll talk. I'll say hi and all of those things. And then a little later, when he finished school and many years after I had finished, we met a few times. And I remember we once met at Old School Reunion.
Okay.
He was with some of the other beat makers in the game,
Yeah.
Slimbo, the others. Remember we said a few words, chit-chat. Then all of a sudden I come to work one day when we were at the other place. Then I said, that's Ni Kome. So
how
we
was
sit
it
down.
feeling like,
It was nice seeing him.
reconnecting?
It was nice seeing him.
So at what point, so he was there to do his sound work. You were, at the time, I'm sure, doing the sport,
We're
doing
doing
research.
CNN. It was
Okay, so
helping-
he had to come in to mic us
yes.
and all that. So at what point did you guys decide that, you are here, I'm here, let's do something
King,
together?
King he would ask me, Charlie, do you still rap? Because I used to rap in secondary school.
Okay.
And I go like, yeah, every now and again. He says, Charlie, why don't you put music? I said, I didn't have the time. He said, listen, I'm here, I can help you record. I said, all right. So I went home thinking about it. And I said, okay, why not? So the first thing we worked on together was the Bibi back cover. Bibi back cover.
Yes, I remember that. That's the first one I heard on air, on CBS.
Bibi back cover. And I heard the beat. So Sarkodie put out the song, and then he put out the version where
And
people could,
Sarkodie actually acknowledged what you did.
and
Bibi Bo, what I'm gonna make that money. Cause Bibi Bo,
Make money,
Bibi Bo,
make money,
I'm gonna make that money.
stack them bills, baby. Those days we dey lay low. If I won't stop, then they say go. If I want dig backbench, then they tell me if I do Prince things, then you take go. Then I saw I gotta work harder. Had to become friends with Gucci and Prada. The girl I get them days, she they move back, she they duck me, cause they say I no be nada. Then I gave everything Charlie, jumped in head first, buried in Charlie. Poured every answer the mix, and now when we get to the door, we let him in Charlie. I dey grind all day, I dey roll with the bakers. People ya be all for the bread. And when I wake up, I just thank God for my life, and I say no hope for the dead. People hear me and they clap, clap, clap. And they say, Nathan Quao, you're a big boy. And the less is snap, snap, snap.
King said, Charlie, you can do something to this. I said, okay. I thought about it. Then I got inspired, and then I wrote. And then I remember he recorded me. And it came out well. Then it re-piqued my interest. Then we'll sit and talk. I said, I want to record. He says, whenever you want to record, just come to me. And then we worked on other
Where's
things.
the studio?
Straight enough, we've recorded all my songs in the office,
Which office?
the TV studio. We'll make time when there's nothing happening.
But I mean, I think that you need like a certain...
Yeah, we just recreate the situation where there's no sound coming in, and we just record.
And King of Accra did all that?
He did all that. So he's everything I have done in terms of putting out music on the platforms is all mixed by King of Accra.
And you still want to continue doing
Yeah,
this?
look, he's a great
Nathan,
guy.
So
So after BB, but then we worked on.
you operate like you have 48 hours in a day, trust me.
It's difficult. It's difficult. So after BB Bar, I took a break for a bit. Do I, don't I? And then I got a bit more serious with it. Then I did Oh Yeah, then I did Be Mine, then some time later. It took me a year to write Momo.
Oh
then
yeah,
I did Momo.
yeah.
And the Momo story, you are part of that Momo story somehow.
How?
Because the day I finally wrote the Momo song, it was from your birthday party.
Really?
Yes. You remember the birthday party at,
Yes,
yeah,
at
Labadi
Alisa.
Beach? No, the one at
Labadi Beach. Yeah, yes.
Good. You remember I was there, I rapped a
Yes,
little.
yeah.
So the creative juices were flowing. So on the drive home, I kept playing the Momo beats to myself in the car.
I mean, come on, I should be giving some copyrights too. Because I mean, I gave inspiration.
So by
you
the
know.
time I got home, I remember writing it around midnight.
Okay.
So I stayed up for about an hour or two writing the song. So yes.
Nathan, I have a stake in whatever and whoever you become in future. But you know, so the King of Accra we are talking about, you know, is still very much present. And they are still doing so much together. Nathan, I think we should join King of Accra now. Because
Really? Yeah.
we right have him here with us. So
I see.
let's just go over.
King, my collaborator.
King of Accra.
We've
Hi. You know,
made-
it's so interesting today. We are not talking about, you know, and I've always said I'm going to take King of Accra to church. We are still waiting for that. It's
gonna
Yeah. So, guys, I'm gonna leave you. So when you are done, we'll have a conversation, King of Accra, because I
Okay.
think there's so much I need to know from you today.
Sure,
and
sure.
so the studio, we are in a studio,
the
So
right?
yeah,
Right
so
now.
you know, a lot of people think those days, the studios, making music was a bit complex. If you listen
Yes.
to the older musicians,
Yeah.
go to the studio,
I think that's the concept of studio I still have.
book the studio. Now with technology, what does he have? Computer, keyboard, his mixer, mic, we are good. Many songs have been recorded in these sessions or these settings. Many, I can tell you, many songs.
So
many.
we just, as we move up and down, you know,
Yes.
doing stuff, you guys
People,
are creating
I know
music.
people who walk around with their studio equipment in
In
their
their bags, yeah. It's becoming simpler by the day.
Wow. No, you guys do something.
We should do- okay.
do something.
Okay, so-
I mean, I think Nathan, it would be nice. I don't know if we can get that, you know, the Be Mine,
Yeah, the Be
oh
Mine.
yeah, oh yeah.
What would be the name of the Be Mine? So
That's
that I'll go
Be
for
Mine,
search.
right?
It's not Be Mine.
Mine?
Yeah, but then the beat has a different name.
Oh,
so we need to
the
look
beat
for the
has-
name.
so I
'Cause it's
remember you
been a
worked
long
on the
while,
beat.
yeah.
But so what do you
Brian,
have?
I have
What-
Momo. I have Momo here.
Okay, you have
I have
Momo
Momo
here.
here, so we
Yeah,
can play.
Okay, you play Momo.
Yes.
Make a play Momo.
Yeah, play Momo. Yeah.
Things no they be, life no they go. Me I need Momo. To Charlie mommy Momo. If you Charlie mommy cash, life no they go.
So
Okay,
let me work
yeah.
on the, no, sit down.
Yeah.
Let me fix you.
Things no they be, life no they go. If you top I know they see, cause me I don't know. When to Charlie mommy Momo, mommy Momo, mommy Momo, give me Momo. I make I just give up, cause life makes slow. And Charlie give me formula, the boys still blow. But for now, mommy Momo, mommy Momo, mommy Momo, give me Momo. I wake up in the morning, Charlie, nothing in my pocket. No food for your boy, how I go fi move rocket. It no be easy for the GH, Charlie, you for Safa and the MP getting V8. I take my paycheck and it be taxes in Quao. Politicians like Ole, our tactics in Noir. The speeches and the long talk, Charlie, they be too much. But we know they see things and they know they do much. It be one this, one that, one plan or another. One presser in an interview, we know they help a brother. Go to market, see the price, them they rise. All very supervised, they go bring tears to your very eyes. Boys know they see top, Charlie with the tire. Wanna ice make red, cause the system be fire. Make the boys give me Momo, make the boys sort me out. Make the boys come through, cause the game brought me down. Things know they be, life know they go. You be top, I know they see, cause me I don't know. Wait till Charlie, mommy Momo, mommy Momo, give me Momo. I make I just give up, cause life makes slow. And Charlie give me formula, the boys still blow. But for now, mommy Momo, mommy Momo, give me Momo. I make shit, I make dry, make slow. I did die, no cash, no goodie, no more life. My life in the drive with the force, got the moves, no the source. Make boys give me one more on the game, they on pause. The streets hot too much, we they search water. Baba God give me daily bread and fresh butter. They know be say boys lazy, but the moves hard. Economy they fight we, but we they prove hard. The landlord taking money, he say next year he go move the rent and Charlie we go vex here. And these days everybody just the fee say it they be by the prepaid, no it's 3 days. The fuel price just they go up. So now if we they meet self, how I go fi show up? The money no day, so how we go fi to blow up? And things make slow, how the boys go fi to grow up? Things know they be, life know they go. It be top, I know they see, cause me I don't know. Wait till Charlie, mommy Momo, mommy Momo, give me Momo. I make I just give up, cause life makes slow. And Charlie give me formula, the boys still blow. But for now, mommy Momo, mommy Momo, give me Momo. Things know they be, life know they go. It be top, I know they see, cause me I don't know. Wait till Charlie, mommy Momo, mommy Momo, give me Momo. I make I just give up, cause life makes slow. And Charlie give me formula, the boys still blow. But for now, mommy Momo, mommy Momo, give me Momo. Charlie, mommy Momo, Charlie.
Oh, you have one with Manifest.
No, it was a challenge.
It was a challenge.
It was a challenge. So Manifest had this challenge called the Clean and Pure Challenge.
Okay.
So what he did, he has a song called Clean and Pure. So he he freed an empty space and asked people to
fill in.
Yeah, fill in. And I remember I did mine
Yes.
on TikTok.
Okay.
I can't see it.
But we recorded
I remember
it.
we recorded it. And
So you remember that rap?
you played, I'll see if I can remember. Sometimes you write so
Looking
much.
for it. Hold on one second.
But you don't sing. You just rap.
No, I just
right?
rap. Unfortunately, I
Okay.
don't have a voice. I don't have a voice.
No, it's
to
okay. Don't
sing.
sing. Just rap. No, it's okay.
But he plays the keyboard, so I don't know why he's not mentioned that.
Yeah,
Nathan
yeah.
does everything. You know, I really would want to meet your son or your daughter one day, honestly, because you're doing everything. You are a teacher. You are a rapper. You
I'm a
are.
teacher, yeah. I'd love to teach, you know.
And look at the extremes, you know, of what you do. Head of research.
Yeah.
A rapper. A
Well,
lecturer.
What can you do?
Well,
He's trying to be modest.
I mean, absolutely. He's wearing the suit, the coat of humility.
So I'm getting the next file so that we.
Yeah,
can
I
do
remember.
Yeah.
I remember I had to write this because I had a very short time to submit. So I did that and I shared the video. And I remember Manifest was saying that Manifest was telling me that. Interesting. So whenever I quit my 9 to 5, he knows I can find another work.
Easily. I mean, you don't have any issues. You don't have any issues. You can just go back to life of a diplomat. You can, I mean, create something out of that. You can be a consultant. You can be a lecturer.
Well,
you can be a musician. I mean,
Yes, we are still.
You're still adding on.
Yeah, we are still.
What else do you want to do?
There's one thing I really want to do. It is to get a PhD.
Nathan, what are you looking for in this world? Tell me, I'll help you find it.
No, but,
what are you looking for?
No, but
are you not tired?
No, you cannot be tired. It's one of my life's ambitions. Go back to school, learn, and get a PhD. Then I can teach properly.
You know, so when you were not a family man, I could understand and appreciate that. But now you have a wife.
I do.
Very soon, I don't know. Are you almost a dad yet?
No, not yet. Kids will come in. Definitely kids will come in. I have a wife now.
Yes,
that is true.
Yes.
I'm a family man now.
Hi, Gina. You know,
shout out to Mrs. Q if you're watching. Love you so much.
Don't be like that, Mrs. Q. Yeah. You know, it could be GQ, right?
Yeah, she is GQ actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's GQ.
I'm not surprised.
So yeah, you wanted to ask something?
Yeah, so I'm trying to ask, you know, at this point, you are not just by yourself.
It is true.
Just to say that, okay, I want to do this, I just want to create this. Anytime I close from the office, I go home, I go sleep, get a bowl of kinky, and I'm good. Now you also have another person in your life. You need to give part of your time to this person.
Yes,
how are you, you know, putting everything together? And how is Gina also finding all this, everything that you're doing?
So, okay, second question first. So my wife is very supportive. She understands all these different sides because she kind of saw some of them. I remember when we were going out and I recorded some of the songs, I sent them to her. I say, listen. So she knows this is not, you know, this is not new. It's not new at all. So she's very familiar with these sides. And she also knows my ambitions of what I want to do.
Right.
Go to school, learn some more. She understands. Of course, I guess when you have somebody else in your life, you have to like adjust a bit and make sure the two people are on the same page. So it's a conversation we have all the time.
Right.
I also have to think about her own ambitions, her own plans. What does she want to do for herself? And I have to adjust, you know, as we go along. So we take it one day at a time,
right.
and we see what God will do for us.
Well, I know you can. I mean, you can figure everything out. So because it is you, Nathan. Ken, do we have the song now?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, right. Can we get
Yeah.
that too?
Okay. Let's see.
Let's play.
All right, let's go. Let's see if I still have. All right.
Kill it. God's plan, no man fit to cancel.
Okay.
High spirit so they can't kill it. God's plan, no man fit to cancel it. You know me, I'm just a conduit. My destiny, I was born to it.
Clean and pure like the coca from the city Medellin. If you're thinking of a picture, then you know I be the scene. If I say of it's to the body, then I be the dean. To the haters, you never could make them even in your dreams. Best like Cali, when we race, we be first. I got a CD locked every day, CBS. Nobody say I be the illest, but I hit them with the stress. Every day the beat calls, and you know I'm saying yes. They're waiting to take us, you know the way that they hate us. They be waiting to break us, but they can never debate us. Even if they be making waves forever and ever. We're like the rock on my team, the thing is to shake us. And we breathe and we pause, and we watching manifest. Picking up everything that we pass the money test. We dream about things, now we see them manifest. When your flight plan and day, and upon a manifest. Mr. Quao, Mr. Quao.
We're gonna make you the part out. Not be me with your blessing. I don't like you all.
When you get these beats, how do you know that Nathan is the right person? Because you work with a lot of artists.
Okay, so some of the stuff that he brings, like he's already had the beat already. So like this one, he found it on TikTok and then he brought it. He was like, can you help me record? I'm like, yeah, Charlie, come, make me record them. So when I get to work and I have like some small time, I'll call him. I mean, first we used to all be in the office, but now he's over at Adabraka and I'm here. So we are not able to record so frequently. But back then, I'll just call him, Charlie, if you have time a day right now, you go come. We just go to probably the rooftop, record it, or find the space in the studio when there's nothing going on.
Recorded a few songs on the rooftop.
Yes, we did some.
Really?
Yeah.
But the rooftop is noisy.
Yeah, so we have pop shields to help us do that.
block this.
Because sometimes there's something happening in the studio, we can't say, you know, we are going to disrupt what's happening in the office because we
So
want to get
HR,
creative.
while we are doing stuff, you know, K of Arar and Nathan are creating music.
You remember
They're cooking superstar
we
stuff.
recorded Momo in the upstairs TV studio. You
Yes,
remember?
Yes.
That's where I recorded.
Yes.
Momo.
Yeah,
Yes.
the former lifestyle
Former
studio.
Lifestyle studio,
Yes.
yes.
So that's where I remember I recorded Momo.
But K of Arar,
Yeah.
where did you learn all these things? You know, how did you become such a great producer?
Okay, so I'm a very lucky person. Where I was growing up, I happened to have a more popular producer living in my neighborhood. So I grew
Where?
up in East Legon,
Okay.
somewhere called Mempasem. And then Hama used to live.
the last two.
Hama of the last
yeah,
two.
he used to live in the area, and you know, he was when Obrafo's album came out. Everybody like was talking about Hama in the neighborhood. Oh, he lives around here, and I used to go to school in Mempasem to East Legon. So when we were going home, we walk right in front of where he hangs out, and then I formed like a relationship with him. Like I'll get there, I'll greet him.
With
and
Hama?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't know how that happened, but then it just happened.
Yeah.
So one time we moved from North Kanishi and we moved from East Legon and
Legon.
went to North Kanishi.
Right.
So me and my uncle, we're going to pick up my sister from school. And then we happened to meet Hama like in front of the studio. He was like, what am I doing here? I was like, I moved from East Legon, I'm now in North Kanishi. He was like, oh, this is the studio, so when I have time, I can come by. And at that time, I had finished JSS.
So you were a young boy.
Oh, yeah,
How
very
old
young.
were you? Like 14.
Yeah, probably
When he came
13,
to
14.
secondary school with a reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he came to Accra, everybody knew there was this boy, SS1 boy,
Boy, yeah.
who's friends with Hama.
So that's what I'm saying, that I feel like I'm a lucky person because I just happened to meet him, and then I was a rapper then. I used to rap. That's what I was doing. I wasn't into producing or anything.
Okay.
So we got to the studio. I'll be there just hanging around with the guys. And then one day he said, why don't I pause on the rap so that he teaches me how to make beats?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he just said out of the blue. I don't know what he saw or what he felt coming from me, but he just said it, and I obliged. And now I used to have like an upper hand to go into because when he's working, all the rappers are outside and he's inside. He'll be inside for like probably an hour and a half. When he opens the door, it's a banger. You know, everybody, all the guys are going crazy. And
So you
they're
still
right.
work with him?
No, I don't work with him
Okay.
anymore. When I left high school, I just started producing music on my own.
Right. So when you left high school, were you doing music, you know,
Oh,
your,
yes,
your
yes.
own songs?
Yes.
At what point did you start working with other people?
Okay, so in Accra Academy, he will tell you like people come to perform with their own songs. You
Yes,
know
in
what I mean?
secondary school,
Yes.
yes. I
He
mean,
was
I remember
creating
we had
No,
our
I
own
wasn't
songs.
creating beats,
He wasn't,
but then
but in secondary school at the
people
time, people
record
had
their
their
own
Okay,
own
that was
demos.
okay,
Yes.
right.
So
okay.
like probably Nathan will come to entertainment and he'll come and perform his own song with his guy. The guy he was talking about. I remember that day very
By
well. It
Nicodemus
was-
too. Why Nicodemus?
But that's his name.
Nicodemus. eh?
Shout out to Nicodemus.
Where's Nicodemus?
I
now?
haven't heard from him in ages. I
Hi,
need to find.
Nick. I mean, let's just say Nick, right? Okay, because the Odemus. Yo.
So I was going to the studio frequently. So I'll go to the studio. From the studio, I'll go to school, and then I'll come back to the studio. Then I'll come home. But my dad wasn't happy with that. Like it was a problem because I'll come back from school late every time. He'd be like, "You went to the studio again," and
Yeah.
like he wasn't with it, you know, because my dad was a reverend minister.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is your father still around?
Nah, he's of blessed memory now.
That's why I don't want to follow me to church.
Oh, that's not the reason. Now we'll go to church.
Good.
Don't worry.
Right. So at what point did you meet the Sarkodiers and stuff? How did you start working with these guys?
Okay, so when I finished high school, I started receiving information from people. Oh, there's a studio here. Would you like to go and work there? So I'll just go. I'll work there for a while. Maybe I'll stop or I'll move on to another place. So I went to a place called NT1 because someone had given me the information that there was this guy who came from UK and he had set up like an ultra modern studio by then and needed somebody to work with. So I think he was looking for somebody who wouldn't cause him too much,
Stress, yeah.
problems and all that. And I was just like somebody who is living with his parents, and I don't really want
not
to
about the
cause
money,
it. Yes.
yeah.
So I came to the studio, and then we started working on stuff. So at that time, I already had like relationship with people from the last two and from Hasha Studio. So
Right.
I was already in connections
Established,
with
kind of,
not
yeah.
established, but
Well,
I
don't
knew
also
people.
try to be modest.
so
Yeah.
I brought people into the studio, and then we started working. And then I had known Guru two cousin of mine. So I invited Guru to come into the studio. I mean, the studio was very nice. So when you're a rapper and you get there, you are sold. You already want to be in the studio. So I brought Guru in. And then I was in the studio one time, and then the man called me. He's called Matthew. He called me. I was like, yo, what happened? I'm like, I did, boss. We did the studio. And I was like, I'm bringing Sarkodie to the studio. At that point in time, people knew him for the Kasahari level. That's why people knew him from the mixtapes and all that. So he brought him into the studio, and he was a very quiet person. He came through, like, I should play something. So, boom.
You have the song you did with Sarkodie. Yeah.
I have some of them. I mean, I have even some unreleased stuff too, but I mean, this is not a place for those things. And
So.
we've moved past that.
But there was an issue on social media that suggested you and Sarkodie were having issues.
Yeah.
You had issues?
Oh, yes, we had issues.
What was the problem?
It's just the,
money issues.
Money issues, definitely money issues.
They didn't want to pay you.
It's just money issues. So I felt like I wasn't being well compensated for the kind of work that I was putting in and some of the sacrifices that I was making, because when I got to, I like learning. So when I got to find out that music has like several aspects of making money. It's not just by performance and then you make money. Like you make money on the back end because of royalties and stuff like that. The conversation didn't go really down well, and it was different from what the fans perceived. You know what I mean? What the fans perceive are different stuff. And I felt like we should have gone past that to like sit down and then have like an amicable agreement so that we can continue working. But it wasn't happening, so I just
So what's the relationship like now? Done.
We don't talk anymore, you know what I mean? It's been a while since I talked to him. So that's where we are right now.
So you've forgotten about the money?
Oh, I'm finding other ways to secure my money from those projects, so it is what it is.
Well, when it's getting juicier, that's where we need to go. I really loved this conversation, and I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have these guys around me so we can continue, get to know more about that. But K of Arar, well done. So, just quickly before you go,
Sure.
What you do is, before we go on air, you come in to mic us, put the sound stuff.
Make sure that you are in connection with the director in the control room, so that when they're giving you instructions, you'll be able to know that, okay, probably this camera is not working, so turn towards this one, and I'm making sure that your sound is good, and make sure that your EQ is right and the people can hear you at home crystal clear.
The K of Arar. Super. So, ladies and gentlemen, you get to meet K of Arar. You don't see him on the screens,